Hi, everyone. Today I'd like to talk about being a victim because I just suddenly realized something that I never thought about before about being a victim. And it's, interestingly enough, the comments are always thought provoking for me, especially quite a few regarding being a victim, telling me that I appear to be one, which is very interesting because I thought about it a lot this morning. And I realized that they are right. I have been a victim. And I also realized something else. What's wrong with being a victim? Haven't we all been at one point or another? And I've got so much to say in this video. I'm always trying to keep my thoughts organized because I get so passionate about these topics. And so I was thinking, well, what is a victim anyway? And so I looked it up online. And a victim is anyone who's been subjected, let's see, uh, who has been hurt, damaged, or even worse, by another person or situation. Now, how many of us, which is probably everyone, has been somehow affected negatively by others at some point in our life, right? So I thought about that. Now, there's two parts to this, and I'm going to address the first part first. And that is that I have been a victim many times in my life. And I thought just a few minutes ago, hey, I think I'll write a book about being a victim. Because being a victim is not a negative at all. Because being a victim is determined by how you deal with it. And by that I mean there are two ways to move past being a victim. There are people who will empower themselves and move past it, which is what I've done with every single situation I've ever been a victim in. And then there are people who choose to remain as a victim. And they choose to remain a victim for various reasons. And one of them is sadly abusive partner relationships, because there are some people who feel powerless and unable to escape their situation. And sometimes that situation can be tragic. And so being a victim, I think, especially in the comment section, because I have been many times accused of being a victim, and I realize that they're right. I have been. Especially when I've created videos about being an estranged parent of an adult child. And I've noticed on other video channels that some of these parents are being accused of being a victim also. And what I realized is there's nothing wrong with that, because we have every right to feel victimized. And we have every right, within reason, to voice our own personal grief, confusion, sadness, and situation. But for me, it's all about what we do with all of that grief, confusion, unhappiness, and torment. Because a victim, such as myself, decided not to be a victim anymore in every single situation when I was one. And so I don't mind if people want to say that I'm perceiving myself in the past as a victim, because I was. I was many times, especially as a helpless child with nowhere to go, being victimized by my parents and by my older brother. And because I felt powerless, I grew up in the world as an adult feeling powerless. And I became the perfect target to be more seen as a victim. And it's a very confusing mindset while you're in it. But isn't that the truth with so many things in our life? We don't see the turmoil when we're in the dark cloud. But once we jump out of it and look back with the hindsight and the insight, we can see how we were victimized. And I think there's shame today in admitting that we have been victimized. And I think we can all be extremely proud of ourselves to say, yes, I was a victim, and maybe I still am, but this is what I'm doing about it. And that is a huge, huge, empowering thing. So I want to thank everyone who called me a victim because you were right. I have been victimized many times, and you've just given me the idea for my next book after I finish my next two that I'm working on. And I think I'll write about being a victim because many people are judging others for being a victim when there's nothing wrong with being one. However, I do question those who choose to remain a victim. Yet we must be careful and not judge others for what I've just mentioned a few minutes ago, and that is that some people are unable to release themselves from a situation which has caused them to feel powerless. And rather than criticize them and judge them for being a victim, why not offer a suggestion for them to get out of it? And I think this whole idea of calling someone a victim is grossly misunderstood, because all of these estranged parents who truly don't understand why our adult children have suddenly decided to estrange themselves. Yes, we are victims. We are, because we are the only ones who know how we raised our kids. And yes, we will be subjected to outside criticism. It's given with the territory. But yes, we are victims, and we deserve to call ourselves victims. Yet, what are you going to do about it? And I have decided, as I've said before, that I accept my adult daughter's decision, and I have reclaimed my life. And I have celebrated my freedom from all the drama and all the turmoil and all the walking on eggshells that I was subjected to when I was trying to reconcile with her, just like my mother. And it is what it is. I have decided not to put any more energy into feeling like a victim, and to reclaim myself as not only a survivor, but a very aware and fulfilled survivor of being a victim. So I hope I explained this all clearly enough, because I think this victim mentality does not apply to everyone. Now, you can tell generally, or I can anyway, especially with people with very low energy and very negative energy, that they are comfortable in their victimhood. And those are people who want to draw other people into their victimhood energy. And there will always be people who gravitate towards that, because they seem to find a justification in not putting forth the effort to grow past it. And I avoid those people and that energy because I refuse to partake in being a willing victim. I never have, and I never will. However, I have empathy for anyone who feels that they are at the present moment. However, I can tell when someone is making effort to relieve themselves of that weakness and of that victimhood situation. Because I never considered myself a victim in my past, even though I was. And that's important. That's an important mindset. So I don't care if people on my channel seem to find that I'm sharing my past as though I was a victim, because you're absolutely right. I was a victim, and I'm not any longer. And that's the point. That is the entire point of many of these stories, of how I endured as a victim, and endured, and not only survived, but I overcame that mentality. And that's why I share all these troubling stories of my past. And I think many of you get that. But for those of you who want to call me a victim, no, not anymore, I'm not. But I hope to broaden your perspective if some of you are watching this. Because please honor people who are in a present situation where they are a present victim. Because being critical is not helpful. And being condescending and judgmental only makes matters worse for that person. And if you feel as though you're compelled to call a person a victim, then perhaps think more about what you're saying, because you helped me realize how much I have been over the years. And you made me realize that being a victim is not a bad thing. It can be due to circumstances. It can be something completely out of our control. And it can be something that we never, ever deserved. And good for anyone who wants to share their stories of being a victim, because it takes courage. It takes a whole lot of courage to say, you know what? This happened to me and it was awful. And I'm sad. And I'm still confused. And I'm still working through it. And if any of you have chosen to criticize people like that, then I feel sorry for you. Because these people are one day going to work through it. And they're going to look back and realize how strong they really were. And be stronger for it. So I'm really excited and happy that I deleted some of them, and now I wish I didn't, because they were calling me a victim. And if you're still watching, thank you for calling me a victim. And please know that I'm going to write one heck of a book about being a victim. And I'm going to write it in a way that separates the survivors from the willing victims. And the people who choose to persevere and move forward no matter what, and the people who prefer to not make any attempt at all to better their lives. And even those people I would never criticize, because we never know what another person's life has been and truly what their experiences are. And I see critical people and judgmental people as very weak and needy, because a critical person seeks power over putting someone else down. And that's sad. I feel sorry for them. And it's their road to travel. It's their path to follow. And it's their problem, because they created it. And we are all on this life. I hate the word journey. I don't like that at all, because I don't think it's a journey. I think it's an experience. Because a journey implies that we need to get somewhere. And we're already where we are at this moment because of our past. Our past has brought us to this moment, whether we tried to achieve this present moment or not. We're here. And tomorrow we'll be in another place. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. We don't have to journey to get there. It's just going to happen. And sometimes the more we try to journey, we don't get where we want to go anyway. And that's how I look at it. My life isn't a journey, it's an experience. It's a experience that I believe in destiny, and I believe in purpose, and I believe that the future has already happened. And I'm just experiencing it in the present, like a movie, like those old-fashioned cartoons where you can stop the frame. That's the present. Our present is a frame, is a snapshot of the movie. And we can't see the future because we're experiencing that frozen frame, which is the present. And I really believe that. And I'm happy to talk more about that because of my many, many experiences, as I've written about in my book, There Is a Something. And that's why I don't think my life is a journey. My life is an experience that I'm meant to experience in this dimension that only can experience it frame by frame. And what I make with each frame will enhance the next, even though it's already been predetermined. And that probably seems like a very confusing concept, but I've lived this way all my life, and I believe it. So back to being a victim. Celebrate being a victim. Accept it. Honor it. Embrace it. Because there's nothing shameful about being a victim. And if other people choose to find fault with you being a victim, then please know that they don't understand that you have every right to embrace that experience. Yet, again, if you're a willing victim and you enjoy being a victim and you are choosing to portray yourself as a victim for attention, for sympathy, I think that you are not going to find any gratification with that at all. And you will find yourself in your victimhood absolutely and utterly miserable. And those are the people who I avoid. So please let me know what you think about my victim video, because I think there were 3 this morning that I read about people who were calling me a victim. And I love the comments because they make me think so much about my videos and what I talk about and how each of you respond to them. And I really, really looked forward to doing this video because I love learning things about how other people perceive what I'm talking about. And your perceptions allow me to think more about my own. And so please feel free to comment, ask me questions. Let me know if you think you're a victim and what you think about estranged parents as they share their devastating feelings and emotions, feeling a victim. And before I end this video, I want to close with this one thought. And that is that I think many people today are calling us victims, estranged parents that is, because there is a huge void and a lack of empathy in this world. And sometimes I wonder if people are becoming automated, being too immersed in technology and online, and completely losing the sense of being human. And that since technology has no empathy, I fear that people are becoming more robotic and more empty in terms of feeling emotions and being able to experience empathy and sympathy. And that frightens me. And not many things do frighten me, but that does. But I'm here to tell you that we can maintain our empathy and our sympathy like precious diamonds in our soul. And that is what's going to keep us human in this ever-evolving, ridiculously digital age. So there you go. Please let me know if you're a victim, or if you have been, or what you've done about being a victim. And please let me know if other people want to make you feel ashamed of being a victim, because I'm not. And I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to celebrate it, and I might even write a book about it. So thanks so much, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day wherever you are in the world. And I hope all of my videos are always inspiring, uplifting, and give you food for thought. Take care, everyone.